Yes, we're here in Azusa at the APU Citrus College Station, the soon-to-be former terminus of the LA Metro A line, which in less than a month is being extended like 7 or 10 miles to Pomona, with 4 new stations. And today, we're gonna bike the full extension and stop at some good places to eat on the way. It's like a test train coming in. Man, I remember back in 2017 when it was extended here. I have an old video on my Patreon where you can check out me taking it to Pasadena, back when it was part of the Gold Line. Anyways, let's hit the road. By the way, this station is named after the adjacent community college and Christian university across the tracks. Finally, bike lockers that cater to tall people with tall bikes. I feel like I've been acknowledged. We make our way around the station and under the tracks, turning east on Foothill Boulevard, just north of Citrus College. We're gonna cross here on Barranca to fulfill the goal of trying to bike as close to the tracks as possible, because there's a trail up there. It's actually right behind a gated community, but the trail appears to be public. Definitely a good view of the right-of-way from this trail. We have emerged at Grand Avenue where they built this huge overcrossing for the train tracks. It's really impressive, considering the tracks cross diagonally through the intersection. And we'll head down to the Glendora station. We turn east on Ada Avenue, which I'm pretty sure isn't named after the Americans with Disabilities Act. But if it helps you remember it, there is a hospital on this street. Bit of a bike-only shortcut as the street ends here, also pedestrians, and it looks like they're pouring some cement for this other segment of sidewalk. But we are right here at Glendora Station. I didn't realize there was a hospital right down the street here. That seems like a good location for a train station accessible thing. And it looks like another test train rolling through. They turned off the crossing gate bells. Well, let's take a closer look at the station, shall we? So fresh and so new. Now, optimistically, I'm hoping they leave the porta potty as a permanent feature of the station, because there's a thing for Metro to not have bathrooms at stations a lot. We got some public art underneath some tarps, and all these stations have this cool little floating disc sign. That's pretty neat. Let's head up street to our first food destination. Of course, we're doing it the cheapskate Petesake way at just 99 cents and deals, easily within walking distance. We covered this place in a previous video, which you can see more of downtown Glendora there. But today, just picked up some organic bread and some Gatorade because it's really hot out. Strangest things I saw in there today was a $6 knockoff GoPro, a bottle of shampoo that looked like orange juice, and whole stacks of cups from 7-Eleven, like the disposable cups. So you never know what you'll find there. Anyways, let's keep going. Here we are at the other end of Glendora Station, and we're about to head down to Route 66. I can already hear the complaints from Glendora residents about these crossing gates causing major traffic jams, especially when they stay down way longer than they're supposed to. Or no, there's another one coming from the other way. There's the 284 that we rode in that other video to just 99 deals. And over here we get a nice long walkway down to the station. Worth noting, there's also a bike shop directly adjacent to the station. We head east on Route 66, which isn't the most bike friendly, but it is the most direct for where we're going. And yes, this is the historic Route 66 that wound from Chicago to LA more than 2,000 miles along the way, until it was made irrelevant by the interstate highway system. Look at that new density. 3-story building going up in California.
This is so rare!
Here we are on Route 66 outside of a place that I would say has a cult-like following, is Donut Man. You can actually see the A-line tracks from the back of their parking lot. You know, it's occurred to me that since I've dropped some of my dietary sanctions, I still haven't tried one of their legendary strawberry donuts that was even featured on Huell-Howser. So figured it's time to see if they're up to the hype. It's a donut with strawberries. Why would that not be good? Just across the street is one of those bin stores that has been popping up so lately. I still have yet to go into one, but we don't have time for that. We have to continue on to San Dimas. We then cross under the A-line tracks as they curve south. The green metal bridge in front is the old one now used by freight, and an additional bridge was built directly behind it for the new electrified tracks. So the tracks just turned south back there, so we are going to turn on Lone Hill. We cut south on Lone Hill Avenue, passing under the 210 freeway just before meeting with the tracks again. Something special happens here, and that's the freight tracks actually switch to being on the north side, where west of here they're south of the A-line. At all the newly grade-separated crossings, the freight tracks were left at grade because they're used far less frequently. The unmistakable smell of onions sitting downwind from this place. Hey, look, there's the tracks. So we're gonna turn left on Gladstone so we get another underneath the A-line track shot. Oh no, this one's at grade. This be the 57. I'm taking side streets to avoid the on-ramp streets.
Watch out for falling rocks.
That joke is not going to get old. I'm actually turning off onto Amelia, which is this nice scenic road. See, look how scenic it is. They even have white pigeons. The juxtaposition of the transit and the traffic on the 57. We turn east on 5th Street and cut south on Euclid Avenue as we head towards our next destination in San Dimas. So over time I realized I don't particularly enjoy shopping in large supermarkets because they're just too overstimulating, and it really annoys me when they put the same item in multiple places in the same store and then make you do math to see which is the best deal on which quantity. This place is like the antithesis of that. It's really small. It's called Vitamin City Health Foods, and it is a bit overstimulating in its own way, being so crammed with stuff. They notably stock a good selection of decently priced organic produce and raw milk, because I'm apparently on that bandwagon now. Let's see if I can keep this thing cold. My strategy for keeping this cold on the bike isn't gonna work like that other brand that has the glass bottle. Well, in all fairness, my laptop cases are pretty insulated, so let's get this thing home. The 99-cents only store got replaced with Absolute Dollar, which admittedly looks like a good candidate for this video, but we don't have time. Vitamin City is a bit over half a mile from the San Dimas station, not the most walkable, but it is connected by Foothill Transit Route 492, here on Bonita Avenue, which is another street that was grade separated. So opposite the tracks from the new station is the old Santa Fe station that is now a museum, and we are going to proceed under the cool looking tunnel. This is downtown San Dimas. Good land use. It said drinking fountain, and I'm like, where's the drinking fountain? Apparently it's on this side. Hey, you know what? That looks awfully familiar. It doesn't look like it's from 1913. Oh, and they have a second one over here. Bus. Into the cool tunnel. Got some transit accessible dog grooming and boarding. There's the parking lot. Let's go check out the station on the other side. Bike locker, sheltered bike rack, platform. Heading east on Arrow, we're now riding parallel to the A-line tracks, and our next stop in Laverne is called The Store at David and Margaret, which is named that because David and Margaret is a center for foster youth in Laverne, and they have a store which is open to the public. Right here we're actually riding between Metrolink's San Bernardino line and the Metro A-line tracks, which merge together up ahead. We're here at Wheeler and Arrow, which is about halfway between the Laverne, Fairplex, and the San Dimas stations. Water pipeline enthusiasts might remember this street from the OC feeder video. There's another store I've never been to right here off of Palomares that I've been told good things about, but the problem is it's 6:45 and they close at 4 o'clock. But thanks to the magic of recording that segment earlier, it's gonna be in the video. Check it out. Again, some Metro and freight action. Anyways, on to the store. And a bit of a ramp to get in here. You can see the trains. Bike racks. Wow, interesting store. I'd say it's definitely worth a visit. It's like mostly food and like part thrift store. There's some interesting selections, some definitely good deals. I got some Guatemalan soda and Star Wars wheat thins. And they do have kind of weird hours. It's open 10 to 4. Anyways, off to the Laverne station. That Old Town Laverne sign is relatively new, but we are here at Laverne / Fairplex station, which is right next to the LA County Fairgrounds. Back there, the University of Laverne, which is a notable private university. There's actually another relevant food place right next to the station that I almost forgot about, so let's go check it out. Less than a month, I'm so excited! The A-line is finally closer to where I live, and all my friends. Notably, here is where the Metrolink San Bernardino line tracks merge with the A-line tracks, and they continue both to Pomona North. Here's the station entrance on White Avenue, another long walkway, and also sunset shots, everyone likes them. There it is, an Altadena drive-through dairy. You don't see too many of those anymore. Right next to the station. And yes, that means this is a transit accessible drive-through dairy. I can just hear the urbanists screaming about the land use around these stations. In the interest of time, we're gonna head to the last destination before Pomona Station, since that one closes at 8. First, check out that high railer. Oh, and just next to it, there's your new urbanism. 3-story buildings. Let's see if I can remember the shortcut to this place without getting lost in the neighborhood. And yes, we are here at the other Just Deals location, the one in Pomona. That is smaller than the Glendora one. Also accessible by the 188 and the 291. Love this place. Cold drinks. Man, all this was only $10. And what's crazy is I could have got this goat cheese for $1 at the other 99 deal store, but I didn't want to carry it around that long. Still, good deal. And that'll go good with those Star Wars wheat thins. You can tell I'm thirsty.
I had an unquenchable thirst.
Okay, thanks for joining me on my glorified grocery shopping trip on the A-line. Oh, that's right, there's one more station to see. I think in the interest of time and air conditioning, let's take the 291 there, because I've clearly got enough gratuitous biking footage by now. So currently the closest bus stop to the station is either Bonita or back there at Arrow, but once the station opens, they're probably going to deviate. Over there is Casa Colina, which is like a residential hospital recovery center. I only know that place because someone at my work got electrocuted, died briefly, was brought back to life, and had brain damage, and ended up there. Tragic story. Anyway, here's Pomona daring to go 4 stories with their urbanism, and we'll walk on down to the Pomona station. Gary Avenue somewhat recently got this new bike lane, and you'll notice, if you can read that, it says 4 tracks. On the west side of the station there's actually 5. 2 for Metrolink, 2 for Metro, and 1 for freight. I'll probably do a better tour of the station in the daylight the day it opens, and you'll see how confusing the layout is. The A-line will eventually be extended even further east, fingers crossed, hopefully to Ontario Airport. So this dead end is probably going to be temporary. But there it is, the cool looking sign. I don't know what you would call that. It looks like a spinning top kind of. And then there's Metrolink tracks going to LA and San Bernardino. Some more parking. There's actually parking spaces in between the 2 sets of tracks. That's part of the confusing part I was talking about, but we'll get into that more in the future video. It's also worth noting that the Laverne and Pomona stations are practically within walking distance of each other. They're probably the closest 2 on the whole system. But anyways, until next time, sunset shots, everyone likes them, and everyone loves them.